Hey there guys, welcome back to another video here at Top Tier Garage. Today we'll be showcasing the Fortress 6-gallon 175 PSI High Performance Series air compressor. With a coupon, this compressor is currently going for $120, so I knew I had to jump at the chance to get a new compressor in order to replace my ancient one over in the corner that I'll show you guys in a minute. Stay tuned. You seeing this? All right, so here she is up close. It gives you the standard 6-gallon, 175 PSI. It also puts up 3 SCFM at 90 PSI. Now, this isn't the exact same as CFM that most manufacturers put on their air compressors. There is a conversion for the standard CFM. It is just shy of a horsepower, and it's also rated at 81 decibels, so this air compressor is going to be crazy quiet. It is also oil-free, and some of the other stuff on here. It is a soft starting technology, lightweight because it has an aluminum tank, so it's a lot lighter than your standard steel ones. High CFM, 3 SCFM isn't really that high, but for a small pancake compressor, that is quite a bit. So now I'll move around to the back side here. It has pretty easy to read 2-inch gauges, regulator knob, lightweight design, 15% lighter is what they claim. You got a full protection shroud covering so it looks fancy, it looks nice and clean. 2 brass high flow universal couplers. I did see in some of the other stuff on the forums that behind it, it actually is bottlenecked by the hose going to the couplers. So I don't know about that. And the durable rubber feet are nice so it doesn't shake itself apart. So now I will zoom in on the specs down here. It's basically exactly what I read. It is 31 pounds. It's got a 6-foot cord length, runs on 120, obviously. This ain't gonna be a 220 or 240 compressor. So the number of nailers that you can run at one time, it gives you a nice 1, 2, or 3 chart with green dots, yellow dots, or orange dots, and red dots saying that cannot do it. And then over in the tool usage chart, it says that this air compressor is good for inflating and cleaning, airbrushing, finish nailing, grease or caulk gun, framing or roofing. It says intermittent use for an impact wrench or bolting, all-purpose spray gun, and it said it is not recommended to be used for cutting, drilling, sanding, or surface prep. So we are actually going to test those last two and see how long the tool will actually run. I do have a small pneumatic drill here, and we're going to see how long it can actually run it before it just quits out completely. And I also have a die grinder that we will also be trying to use. And I'm going to try and get my hands on a small air impact to see if it can actually take the lug nuts off without stopping. So believe it or not, when I went to the store, they actually had one in stock, and this was the very last one. I was actually a little skeptical on it because of the tape job on top. I actually thought it was a return that they just taped up and said, oh, good as new. So the packaging itself is good. Just the tape on top is a little bit shoddy on it. So I'm gonna open it up. I know these things are pretty hard to find in stock due to the whole supply chain disruption and everything. So we open up the top here, move forward. There we go. Little package to help at the top. But I mean, other than that little piece of cardboard, there is absolutely zero foam. It is literally just a compressor in a box. You get your little owner's manual. So I'm gonna pull this out of frame. Yeah, there's absolutely. They basically just slip this thing in. They basically just slip this thing in a bag, throw it in a box, and send it on its way. I'll be inspecting it for damages, but from the looks of it, ooh, that's not good. So zoom down here. there's actually a dent. Big ass dent that you can see right here. That sucks. But I mean, that's what you get when freaking send it across an ocean with minimal packaging. Ah, that really sucks. But we're gonna still plug it in and test it anyway. Continue on with the video. So now that it's out of its little packaging, up top it gives you really nice starting instructions for the average person who doesn't know really what to look for in it. Gotta make sure your safety valve is closed. Man, that sucks. I'll be contacting Harbor Freight. They'd really save themselves a lot of headache if they would just put a little bit of foam inside here so they don't go smashing around. I mean, this is a nice compressor, but when it's trying to hold back 175 psi, I don't know if I trust it or not. So this thing does claim to use 12 amps on startup. So I do have my kilowatt here in order to test to see if that actually does use 12 watts or 12 amps, sorry. So next step is to plug her in and see how fast she charges up. All right, so I took the plastic off the gauges and we're gonna see how long it takes to charge up for the first time. So now I did actually plug it in and bump it a few times and it sounded rough, like crazy loud. So hopefully it turns on a little bit better this time. All right, so she finally shut off at exactly 175 psi, which is nice. Nothing exploded. So I know you guys can't smell it, but this thing smells absolutely terrible right now. It smells like an electrical burning almost. So that really doesn't give me too much confidence in this air compressor. It also did take a crazy long time to get up to 175 psi compared to some of the other ones that they offer. I know you can't expect much for $120, but man, I had such high hopes for this thing. Hopefully it performs a little bit better on the tool test than it did pumping up and the original unboxing. It is actually physically smoking. I don't know if you guys can see that on the right. I wish you could, something. You can see a light haze coming up. The thing is actually physically smoking. So we'll try and run some tools on it. Maybe after a few tanks, it'll be fine. We'll check out. All right, so after about 5 minutes after the first charge, I went and found my air hose. It is a nice 25-foot Diablo from Harbor Freight. Really nice hose. But I came back into the garage and the entire thing smelled like there was a small campfire going on here. It smells really, really strong of electrical fire and off-gassing. So it's not very promising. So I'm going to turn this regulator up to 90 psi. We're actually going to go up to about 120 with the psi drop. So when I'm using it, it drops down from 120 to about 100. So we're going to see how many holes this thing can drill. And I am gonna leave it on so it will start up again. Let's give her a whirl. All right, you guys, so after my very first one, you seeing this? So after I started drilling the first hole, I stopped the video in order to check out my chuck because it was spinning. And now there's a small fire in my garage. So I unplugged her. Holy shit. This is on the second charge up. That is not good. So, well, I don't know really what to do. Should I keep testing it and see what happens? I mean, it doesn't even feel hot. It just, lots of resistance there, damn. All right, guys, so I believe it's in my best interest to not start up this air compressor anymore. So it is unplugged, but I am still gonna try and see how many holes I can drill with a full tank. One hole down, and we're already down to about 8 psi. So we're now down to about 30 psi. I'm just doing this so I can turn the tank. So, well, on a full tank, you get about 1.5 holes. So now I'm just gonna disconnect everything. This thing will be on a one-way trip back to Harbor Freight. I don't know if I exactly got a dud, but it should not be smoking like that directly out of the gate. Plus, we already started with a massive dent in it. So I'm gonna take this back to Harbor Freight and I'll give them one more shot. I'm gonna exchange it, maybe even upgrade to a better compressor. But as of right now, the quality control on these things must not be that great. Because if this slipped by after the second charge up, you know they don't test them in factory that often. Or maybe there was something that got assembled wrong. So I let the air compressor cool off a little bit on the bench and then put it back in its box. And it's gonna go back to its home, back to Harbor Freight. I will exchange it and get a new one. It really sucks because I wanted to really rant and rave about this thing with their new Fortress line, but maybe I got a dud. Not every company, they send out duds every once in a while. It just happened to be me who got it. And Harbor Freight is super good with their return policy. So we're just gonna take this and swap it out for a new one. I hope they have another one in stock, considering this is the last one in the store. Maybe they got another shipment. But that'll be the end of the video today. Thanks for watching. Sorry it wasn't a great review, but now you know what could happen, worst case scenario. I will be posting a part 2 when I pick up the new one, so stay tuned and remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Top Tier Garage.